Good morning. Right, I'm now driving here at 6:45 a.m. to our local networking meeting. It's called Connect Networking, and this is one of the ways that we generate leads as an agency. Struggling many years ago to work out how to generate leads, I was thinking I was going to have to do lots of SEO, lots of social media campaigns, etc. And someone said, well, why don't you go ahead and join the local NABO, as it was back then, networking meeting. So I rocked up and had a very warped sense of what networking was about. I thought that I was going to have to go and take my business cards, tell everyone how amazing our agency was, and hope that people in the room would purchase. And one of the discouraging things about being in that networking environment, it was pretty much nobody in that room was really my target audience. Although I didn't think that. I was thinking, well, maybe I can make myself appealing to them, etc. So I would be like, I'm looking for anyone who's looking to do anything, and I was just so vague, and it wasn't a great time. But the meeting itself was wonderfully relaxed. It was one of those no pressure environments, so I didn't have to worry about being a part of a BNI where I'm locking in, investing an awful lot of money, having to bring all of these leads for other people, etc. It's just a relaxed environment. And very soon learned, with the help of Paul Green, the guy who runs Connect, is not to sell to the room, but actually to just focus on developing relationships. And it's a slow burn. Networking is not necessarily a quick fix, although we have had amazing results in different networking groups quite quickly. But if you're going to commit to a local group, then it can be a slow burn, because you're going to develop those relationships over 6 months to a year. And that's exactly what was happening for us. It took us about a year and a half to develop some really good, solid relationships. And during that time, we were predominantly actually spending money because we were finding good suppliers. So we found a great accountant, for example, great designers, other people that we could partner with that would allow us to have a much more solid foundation. We've got a very solid foundation, a very solid team right now, including third-party partners and providers, and a lot of those are through those early days of networking, which is freaking awesome. But on the flip side, because of those relationships that we've developed, and because we've committed to going to this networking group for so many years now, we get regular opportunities as a result. And for a local networking environment, if you imagine the room is full of local businesses of any type that seems completely non-related to what I do. You've got somebody who sells houses, you've got somebody who does the accounts, you've got somebody who does health and well-being. We've got people that don't really seem related to my industry to get me in front of design agencies. And yet, just last year, as an example, this networking group generated us a 20k opportunity, which we won. So that was just through networking down the road in a local small town with people who are not in my industry, who are not in our niche, but know people. And they know, like, and trust me, and they recommended me into someone else, and that generated a brilliant opportunity for us as a business. So, don't know what the sound's going to be like on this video. I apologize if it's all crackly and stuff. I really need to invest in some decent kit if I'm going to be doing some vlogging. But anyway, so that's us so far. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to this morning's group. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll let you know how it goes. All right, well, just been networking, and that was absolutely brilliant. There was about 20 people at the meeting. There was one designer, that's Mark from Pixuma. He's a very good friend of mine. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can go and check out his website and what he does as well. Really good guy. And I would probably recommend you get on his newsletter as well, because he puts out a lot of good information about the basics of design, good strategy, etc. So it's definitely worth checking out his newsletter for that. But one of the great things about networking is even if you don't make new opportunities, you actually learn an awful lot of stuff. So we were talking about copywriting today, and how when you're creating copy for your website, it's always good if you can talk in the language of your client, so in a way that they would understand, that they would connect with. So instead of creating a brochure website that would be saying, hey, we have been in business for 7 years and this is our team and we do this and we do that, which doesn't really connect with your target audience, we were talking about the importance of taking what our clients say to us, making notes as they talk to us, and then jotting that down, and that forming part of the copy of our website. So there was tons of really good value, tons of good food for thought in that networking meeting alone. I also met a new guy who is looking at developing a career in public speaking. That's something that I'm looking at as well. So that was a phenomenal opportunity really to connect with him. We're going to get to know each other more. There is opportunity for both of us to kind of merge networks. I know people that he needs to meet, he knows people that I need to meet to help us both get to that next stage. So again, it blows my mind. I'm going to networking in a local town. You would think nothing much ever happens in this part of the world. I think we all think that about the place that we live, and yet there is such power, there is such good opportunity. There's some amazing people who live literally in the same village or the same town or within a few miles of you, who are so well connected. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm on a high. It's hard to get up sometimes for networking. Sometimes I've got to get up at 6 or 5 a.m. depending on if I'm driving really far down to, say, Bedford or further afield. But and it's so tempting to not go. Like even this morning I was thinking maybe I should call Paul and just say I feel really tired. I had a bad night last night, so I'm not going to come today. But I didn't. I dragged myself there. You probably saw earlier in the video I had bags in my eyes, and once I'd been, like you can probably tell, I'm now really excited. I feel animated. I'm excited to get back to the office and share some of the lessons that I've learned. I'm excited to tell you about what I learned with copy. I'm stuck in traffic and I'm still excited, and that's good because normally I get grumpy. Oh, actually on grumpy, there was a guy who stood up in his 45 seconds and he was saying he's not very good at networking. He said, unfortunately at this time of the day I suffer from bewildered grumpiness, and I thought that is the best line ever. All right, so speak to you shortly.